tonight I'm going to show you how I organize my habits and routines in my life operating system. I've already made a few videos about this before, particularly showing you all my daily tracker and my morning stand-up routine. But tonight I want to show you how I group my habits and routines. And I want to highlight the importance of this video because whenever you set out to build your own life operating system, and you can call it whichever name you want, but essentially whenever you're building any sort of system that is designed to give intention to your life, that you are actually making an effort to build out the life that you want, meaning that you want to happen to life, not let life happen to you. It is very important that you begin with the proper foundation. And I truly believe the proper foundation is defining your habits, getting clear on what are the actions that you're going to be taking on a daily, weekly, monthly, etc., on a regular basis that are going to get you closer to your goals. So here I'm going to show you how I've organized mine, hopefully to give you guys some ideas on how you can organize your own. We have here my daily habits. You'll notice based on the views I have here for my table that I've grouped them, like I said, accordingly based on whether I perform the habit daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. And the reason for that is because it's how humans are accustomed to deal with time ranges. Essentially, it works. It's easy to keep track of, makes it easier to reference and adjust as needed. So we have the first view, which is the daily view. I've grouped them as well based on the values or pillars that they are associated with. I'll probably have to make a separate video on this because I don't think I've covered this yet. But essentially, every habit has to be tied to a core value of mine. Because if you can't tie it to a value, then you really have to reevaluate if the habit is actually serving you in regards to helping you get closer to building the life that you want. So it's a great exercise because it really forces you to think if everything is aligned, all right? This will highlight any incongruencies that you might have. So daily habits, I have content creation, daily reflection, which is sort of my morning stand-up, and just grooming routine, taking care of myself, avoiding alcohol, planning my next day, reviewing finances, sleeping 7+ hours a day, stretching, studying, reading, and then training, right? This is something that is continuously evolving as I add habits or remove habits sometimes. It's all a matter of experimentation. At one point, for example, I had meditation on here, tried it, couldn't find reasons as to why I should keep doing that, so I decided to just completely remove it. And the no alcohol one, I decided to add it when I made the decision to stop drinking. But then it comes a point now where I've implemented the core habit, so I have to reevaluate if it makes sense to keep it here or not, but I still leave it because I still track it. That way I can always look at the data, right? But essentially this is a list that's going to be continuously evolving. You're going to add and remove things, and that's totally fine. It's all about iteration. So next we have the weekly habits on the system. Here you're going to notice that these start to shift. The pillars and values for which these are associated with, they start to shift. Daily, you might have noticed that it's very heavy on health and fitness, but then weekly, it starts to shift more towards the relationship side of things where, call my grandparents while they're still alive, call my parents, go out with my girlfriend, meet up with friends, and perform my weekly review. So these are my weekly habits. Same thing, then I move on to monthly. You'll notice also that as the time horizon extends, the longer the time is, the less habits that are performed. I've noticed that's how it usually goes, because ultimately the daily habits, for example, are relatively easy to do or quick to do. And then the longer time periods, those habits take a little bit of effort, let's say. So then monthly, we have the monthly review, just nurture professional relationships, just reach out to people that I want to keep in touch with, building the network, making sure that I'm providing value, that I'm reaching out to them, asking them if they need anything. And then sports massage, just I try to do that monthly, just to, again, take care of myself, because I like to abuse my body sometimes, and I need to schedule appropriate rest in order to keep getting the most out of each day. Then quarterly, I have it again, blood work check, quarterly review, teeth cleanup, traveling, and then upgrading the mastery loop, which is essentially every quarter I review the list of what my future self looks like, what the next version of myself is doing, acting, behaving, and I always review that list just to make sure that my actions and my habits and projects, everything is aligned with my future self. And then last one is yearly, which only has the yearly review because this only happens once a year. And it's mainly just a reflection over the past 12 months, assessing what went right, what went wrong, what am I looking to accomplish next year? Did I accomplish what I set out to do in the previous year? Just deep reflection, right? But the important thing is just the grouping, right? If you were to start from scratch and you had no idea what to do, you want to start building out a system to get your life in order, take control of your life, and design your life, definitely recommend you start with getting clear on your habits, even if it's just the daily habits, right? I remember before I implemented this system, when I used to track my daily actions, I had, at the time, they weren't silly, but now I look back and I've grown so much that I consider them silly, but I had basic things just like do 20 push-ups, read 5 pages of a book. Very simple things, right? But it all depends on what stage you're at. So don't worry too much if your list isn't as complex or as long or as extensive, right? The idea is to get clear on your current level and then get clear on the actions that will help you get to the next level, whatever it is that you're at. That's the important takeaway to get from this. And then you can just group it based on time frames and start working from, like I said, daily, then move to weekly, monthly, quarterly, etc. So anyways, that's how I've decided to organize it. You feel free to experiment with this. If you find that maybe it serves to organize them or group them by the value that they are aligned with, the value that they serve, there's also another way that you can do it. And then that way you can also see naturally what values are you really living true to, right? Because you might notice that you have 10 habits serving one value and then only one towards another value, and then you get an accurate view of whether you are prioritizing the right things in your life, right? So yeah. Anyways, that's what I wanted to share with you all tonight. Really hope you got some value out of this one. I'm going to be showing you more of how I organize my life, how I approach my personal development, just overall, how I approach everything in general. I want to share as much as possible to give you guys additional perspective on how I do things. So that's the video for tonight. Hope you got some value, like I said, and as always, appreciate it if you made it this far, and I'll catch you on the next one.